Okay, this is going to be a comprehensive video for a couple of issues, an elbow issue and also a lower back and hip issue that's being caused through a good deal of immobility. So without further ado, this is going to be a very comprehensive video and it's going to be individualized for a very specific person. So I'm going to run through this as quick as possible. The email will describe how often you should do these things, and it will be consecutive in terms of how the video goes. So I'm going to start, and you should probably try to do this routine in the order that I perform it. You can of course switch elbow before hip if you want, but in terms of the rolling and stretching, you should do it before you do the mobility and stability exercises I provide. So without further ado, let's get going. So rolling, what we're going to do is 3 points for you that are specific. So we're going to do the lateral hip. You're going to get down and compress that ball just above the bony portion of the hip bone or the trochanter. You're going to compress down and you're going to search for sore points. Once you find a sore point, you can bring that leg up towards your head. Or you can also cause a little bit of rotation in, a little bit of rotation out. Now, appreciate your limitations. Don't extend it further than you need. Second one is going to be a hamstring smash. So, same thing. You're going to compress down, look for tight areas, and once you find one, you can actually either go side to side, do some cross friction, or even better, create some weight down on your hamstring by pressing and do a little extension of that quad. So extend the knee. So get a little compression stretch through there. And then thirdly is going to be a tricep rolling. And what you're going to do with this, simply just going to go on to the very end of the tricep, compression down, compressing with my hand. And as I go, if you want a side view, so I'm compressing down. And as I compress down and as I ascend towards my shoulder, I can bend my elbow and create a little bit of extra stretch. So you can look, I wouldn't just go down one part of the muscle belly, I would look towards the side for any sore points, and I would also look towards the medial aspect of the tricep as well. So I can go back out, I can show you what I'm doing. There we go. Extend again, and just look for those sore points. Okay, one stretch I'd recommend at this point is going to be just a piriformis stretch. So I know we've tried to go over a couple of variations of this, but I think the easiest one for you right now is simply going to be to, so I'm going to show everything with the right leg because that's the side of the problem. Cross the leg, try to get it over the knee, and then just bend the other knee upwards. And if you need, if you get a stretch here, that's fine. If you need an additional stretch, you're just going to lift that opposite knee up. And then taking the hands behind the leg, you're going to pull it upwards towards your head. Good. Okay, from there, let's talk about what you're working on in order to create a more function in the lower back. So I know we've gone over these a couple times. I'm just going to hit on them really quickly. It's important to learn how to contract and breathe. So it should be something that you embrace and practice by itself. So one thing, remember that co-contraction. Imagine a rope's tied between your belly button and spine, and you're trying to create tension. Notice, I'm doing it right now, and there's really not a huge change. I'm not crunching upwards. My pelvis isn't changing. I'm not engaging my glutes. I'm not moving my back. It simply is just a tensing of the very deep intrinsic muscles. So simply just working on this and holding it and focusing is very important. Then what you want to do is just translate it and do all the other activities we're doing throughout this workout video. In addition to that, you can also practice breathing. So you want to start to try to get your breath more down in your stomach. If we have pressure in the abdomen, it creates compression on the lower back, which prevents it from moving in poor planes of movement. So, hand up on the chest, hand right on the belt line. Focus breathing. Pushing breath into the pelvic bowl and performing a certain amount of repetitions. The inhale should be half as long as the exhale. So, take those two concepts, the contraction and the breathing, try to translate them into every single other activity we do in this video. It not only will help with those exercises, but it'll continue to reinforce and challenge those concepts, because the bracing and the co-contraction will, in the future, help prevent you from getting another back injury. So, we're going to work on some lateral hip stability and hip mobility. I think those are two very, very important things, concepts for you to work on. First, let me give you a couple challenges in terms of the lower back, because I think we're still not finished completely with that. So, I'm going to give you two challenges for this one. We're going to first employ the dead bug. So, notice my spine is staying neutral. I'm not arching it. I'm not compressing it down. It's staying in a nice packed position. My knees are just slightly below my hips. And you can start with this one, just simply with heel touches. So slowly bringing the heels towards the ground. Notice once again my abdomen not changing position. If you get comfortable with this and it's not hurting that hip, you can start to implement straight extension. So I'm extending my leg fully. Notice once again my lower back isn't changing its position. Important to know. And then the last one you can try to do, if you're getting comfortable, is opposite arm, opposite leg extension. Once again, notice my lower back is not changing position. Okay, let's go into the stability and mobility. So first one for mobility is going to be on the ground. And once again, I'll show all of these with the right leg, because that's the one we're working on the most. So we're going to simply do a one-legged bridge. My foot, I'm turning it out, so my foot is going to be placed outwards. My back is going to be neutral. I'm going to try to do that contraction, and I'm going to do a slight push with my hip upwards. So I'm pushing my hip up towards the ceiling. I'm going to engage that glute, and I'm just going to hold this for 5 seconds, and I'm going to perform the prescribed repetitions. We also have the one where I had you do holding a pillow or a ball between your knees, compression there. You're going to compress and bridge up. You just need to have something between your knees as you're going up, you're pressing in. I'll show you from the side. So again, remember, my spine remaining neutral as I hold here, pushing upwards. Notice my pelvis doesn't really change its position. And if I'm holding a ball, I'm compressing my knees slightly inwards.